At the time we're recording this video, Season 22 of the Go Battle League draws to a close in a matter of hours. Season 23 looks absolutely incredible. Scopely have done a fantastic job of making a brilliant move update, and I for one cannot wait. Before that commences, we've got time to showcase a community creation from my Discord, the Shadow Hub. If you're on Discord and you're not in this community, what are you doing with yourself? The Shadow Hub has almost 900 members, and I personally think it's one of the best communities out there. If you want to come join the fun, the Discord is linked down below. My community put this creation together at the end of every season. I believe this is our 5th season of doing this, and they continue to get better, and unfortunately for me, even longer. Of course, you can see by the length of the video, I arguably could have split this into 2, or if I wanted to be in line with other Pogo content creators, probably 4 videos to maximise financial gain, but that's not what I'm about. I'm just here for entertainment purposes. So if you can do me a favour, smash that like button. Before we get into the video, we've got some shout outs to give. Firstly, shout out to Summers, who's helped organise this massive project, giving us over 40 different trainers taking part, which is absolutely incredible. Shout out to Pat for putting the graphic on the left hand side. And lastly, shout out everyone who's featured today. With all that being said, I think I need to stop yapping and get to shoutcasting. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. Kicking us off will be the Charon's Claw. These community projects are quite simple. You just got to run a triple shadow team. This battle can be from any format that we've had this season. Great League, Little Cup, Master League, Ultra League, or any of the theme cups. We see a Battle of Dragons. Kingdra fires off the Octazooka, gets Dragon Breath farmed down by Altaria. Bayleaf enters the arena, and out comes Licky, far too thicky. Licky was once a top meta threat in the Go Battle League, but kind of underused in the last few seasons. But for all of you that got one built, don't worry, it's back next season. It's getting access to Wrap. That's going to have a chance to debuff opponents' defenses. But you can see currently, Bayleaf is more than holding its own. The Charon's Claw, smelling the opportunities, take back switch, going to invest that Protect Shield, look for the magical leaf farm down, getting the perfect farm down before the next body slams reach. Back out comes Altaria. The opponent loses the charge attack priority. We fire off the Ancient Power. The opponent obliges, putting up that Protect Shield, looking to move Bayleaf from the field of play. Down goes Bayleaf. The Charon's Claw putting all his hopes and dreams on Grovyle, and out comes Stunfisk, aka the Pancake. The opponent fought with a grass type out the way. The little Pancake's free to roam. Nah, trainer. We're Degen. We've got not 1, but 2 grass types. Grovyle, much like his final stage evolution Sceptile, has access to Leaf Blade, one of the most ridiculously overpowered moves in the game, at 35 energy for 70 damage. Grovyle looking to close the show, farms up to the double Leaf Blade. We see the undercharge, recognising the opponent's unable to shield. Back out comes Altaria. The question is, can we reach the double Leaf Blade before the opponent Dragon Breath farm us down? We're actually doubled up. The first Leaf Blade forces the final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to be all she wrote, with the Charon's Claw able to emerge victorious, heading into the next battle. We see a fantastic lead. A Shadow Gliscor is staring down Galvantula. Unless the opponent's on Energy Ball, they can only hit for resisted. The opponent banks some energy, attempts to catch an Air Lace onto Zoomerall, and what the heck is on my screen? Is that a maxed out Mareep? What is Mareep's role currently in the Great League? I'm not entirely sure, but I guess it's pretty good against all these water types running around. That Trailblaze actually did far more than I was expecting as well. Can we fully Thundershock farm down? One of the bulkiest mon in the format. Unfortunately, we cannot. Decision time. We're actually going to go all in on the sheet, commit to that full Thundershock farm down, and leave with all the energy in the world. The problem for us here is this energy isn't going to go too far into the returning Galvantula. With that in mind, we bank all our energy, send out Gliscor, fire off the Aerolace, forcing the opponent's first protection. We looked it off the second, but the opponent actually saved Galvantula and send out Corsola. Corsola astonishing away, potentially going to look for the full farm down. Gliscor undeterred, going to fire off yet another Aerolace, forcing the protection. The opponent still looking for that farm down. Gliscor holds strong, reaches one further Aerolace. Whilst this won't be lethal, it will put him into the red health range. The opponent might have all the energy banked, but Mareep, with its 1133 CP, able to win the charge attack priority, denying all that energy. Back out comes the Spider. We fire off the boosted discharge. We see the pivot into Magmar. Magmar is insanely glassy. The opponent fire off the lunge. Certainly not the play. Trainer, throw the discharge, please. The opponent go for the cross poison. That'll cut it. Mareep able to outpace to the next discharge. And Mareep is going to clean up. GG's and thanks for playing. We're less than 5 minutes in and I've already lost my composure. If you're new to the channel and you think it's going to get better from here, honestly, click away now. It's going to be shambles from start to finish. In the next battle, we see a Battle of Grass type Sceptile into Ferrothorn. Sceptile running Earthquake for coverage. Earthquake hits for neutral and going to do a lot if it doesn't get respected. Instantly putting Ferrothorn down to around a third health. We see the Protect Shield deployed, correctly shielding up the Flash Cannon, which is a huge shield deployed, and out comes Sableye. Sableye going to be greeted with the Shadow Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is such a busted move when Sceptile is the Pokemon throwing it. Leaf Blade forces our shield back. We're actually going all in on Sceptile here. Sceptile going to shield up the foul play. One Bullet Seed and the next Leaf Blade for optimal fast move timing. Leaf Blade forces the opponent all shields down. We then look to make a catch onto Shadow Swampert. Our catch attempt unsuccessful, but Sceptile is still alive and still in the game. Oof, the same can't be said for poor old Swampert. The return almost one-shot us. The opponent then snipes with a Bullet Seed, but this Ferrothorn is now switch locked. And this might be Magmar's time to shine. Magmar hits the field of play. The opponent only reaches a Power Whip. Power Whip is resisted, but Magmar not known for its bulk. Oof, that did a lot. Does the opponent send out Sableye, or do they reveal their third? Out comes Azumarill. Azumarill going to be greeted with the Scorching Sands. Switch time is heavily misaligned. Sceptile enters the arena, farms up to the double Leaf Blade. And Sceptile looking to close the show. The first Leaf Blade removes Azumarill from the field of play. Back out comes Sableye. Is this Leaf Blade going to be enough to knock out? Yes, it is. Get that Sableye off my screen, and we take that game. Beautiful energy management. In the next battle, we see Shadow Sneasel into Cradily. Shard, not a particularly good quick move, but look at it chunking through Cradily's HP. We're going to fire off the Ice Punch. Ice Punch forces the first Protect Shield of the game. Sneasel is so bloody glassy. If you want to keep it around, you're essentially forced to shield everything. The opponent fire off the Rock Tomb, pivot into Shiny Azumarill, and here comes Kanto Mark. I really like the design of this Pokemon. It's just a big pile of gunk. What's there not to like? Back in the early days, the Pokemon Company actually put some thought into their Pokemon designs, unlike nowadays where we're getting bloody ice cream cones. We fire off the Thunder Punch, Poison Jab farm down. The opponent sends out Claydol, look for the Mud Slap farm down, unable to get it before the Dark Pulse is reached. Dark Pulse gets no respect, putting the opponent below half health. Sneasel re-enters the arena, able to fire off the Ice Punch, winning the charge attack priority. The opponent forced to invest their final Protect Shield. Oh boy, we've got an electric type in the back. And we're actually going to try and, I assume, we're going to be on Thunderfang. Thankfully, we're actually on Snarl. We're able to Snarl farm down. Cradily re-hits the field of play. We're going to reach the Ovi, and this is going to be massive overkill. Cradily gets one shot vanquished back to its Pokeball, and we take that game. In the next battle, we've got one of our resident Spice Lords, Pat. And Pat clearly is the algorithm as he leads Shadow Pinsir into Malamar. The Fury Cutter's double super effective. The opponent says no thank you, say switch into Drapion. We fire off the X-Scissor. X-Scissor forces the first Protect Shield. We then farm up, able to make the catch and sneak a Dragon Tail with our Flygon. Flygon gets greeted with the Aqua Tail. It looks like we're running Scorching Sands and Boom Burst as well. Oof, I'd love to land a Boom Burst. I shoutcast on my phone. That move could be frustration, but we're going to pretend it's Boom Burst and hope we get to land one. Pat going all in on Flygon. Going to shield up the next Aqua Tail. Get that farm down. Back out comes Malamar, and the opponent might consider just sacking it as it's going to be awful into Pinsir. The opponent does exactly that. Scorching Sands and a Dragon Tail. Pick up the knockout. We then send out Tyrant, and there's Clodsire. Can Clodsire close the show? Tyrant going to fire off the Crunch. Crunch hits for neutral and forces the final Protect Shield of the game. The opponent farming up to 100 energy. Earthquake going to remove Tyrant from the field of play. A massive overkill. How do we play this? Pat waits out his clock, sends out Pinsir. Pinsir going to be operating as the damage sponge, and it's going to be a race. Can Flygon outpace to the Scorching Sands before the opponent reach one further Sludge Bomb? The answer to that question is yes. That looks like a charge attack priority that Flygon wins by a mile, and we take that game. Who was worried? Evidently I was, but Pat got the job done heading into the next battle. We've got 31 Scorpion. Let's see what format he's playing. It looks like we've got some Ultra League action. We lead the Angry Ape into a Purified Swampert, so pressure really on 31 Scorpion. We do not want to lose to a Purified Pokemon. The opponent fire off the Hydro Cannon. We're going to farm up, full send the Close Combat. Come on, trainer, it's just a Rage Fist, I promise. Close Combat picks up that one-hit KO. The opponent sends out Gator, and here comes Sneasler. We're actually going to see the no shield deployed. As someone who's used Shadow Sneasel in the Ultra League, this thing's glassy. A non-Shadow Gator almost picks up the one-hit KO with a Hydro Cannon. That's pretty absurd. Able to reach the Air Release. Air Release forced the protection. It was like 31 Scorpion, saving both Protect Shields with Shadow Fire. Via hits the field of play. We definitely need to shield this move up, or it's already GG's. We're going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the Hydro Cannon. The opponent then send out Typhlosion. Are we going to bait? Are we going to full send? Full send is the answer. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oh! Okay, we make the catch. 31 Scorpion is not out of this yet. I think we throw 4 here to not take the second Incinerate. Okay, perfect. We're not quite doubled up. Can we survive the Shadow Claws to reach the next Wild Charge with a debuff defense? Yes, we can. Electivire closes the show with no baits required. What a win. GG's. Stepping up to the arena next is J-Frog. Looks like we're on a triple water theme team in the Open Ultra League. Unfortunately, in the Blastoise mirror, the one with Skull Bash will be the advantageous one, but it looks like neither Blastoise is running Skull Bash. The opponent didn't farm up to it. We're at least looking to fake it till we make it. The opponent spamming out Hydro Cannon after Hydro Cannon. Big man Blastoise absorbs both. The opponent might consider shielding, fearful of the bash. We haven't got it, but you've always got to fake it till you make it. Right on cue, we're able to force the Protect Shield. We then farm up, attempt to catch Hydro Cannon onto Suicune. Our catch attempt unsuccessful. The opponent is looking to go for some chip and dip action. Oh my days, that Hydro Cannon was pitiful damage. Suicune, even in its shadow form, is insanely bulky. It looks like the opponent's more than content just to stay in, so potentially they're weak to water in the back. And that'll be nice for us as we have 3 water types. We fire off the Scald. Scald goes unshielded, getting the opponent into the red health range. Suicune can survive this move, but will be left low. We're going to see Frog bank a charge move. We've already got energy banked on the first 2 water types. Why not get some energy together on water type number 3? Gator tanks the Hydro Cannon, gets that Shadow Claw farm down. Oh my days, out comes Talonflame. The opponent farm up, try to make a catch onto Swampert. We hold our energy and going to start unleashing the Hydro Cannon spam. The first one goes unshielded. We look to fire off the next one, but lose CMP. J-Frog with 2 shields. Actually not going to invest 1. It looks like we are looking for that 2 shield flex. Gator grinning away. Absorbs the opposing Hydro Cannon before returning fire with, you guessed it, its own Hydro Cannon. Man, I'm saying the word Hydro Cannon a lot. Speaking of which, there's another one queued up. Removing Swampert from the field of play. Back out comes Talonflame. Quick switch into Suicune. Suicune fires off the Scald. Scald rocks them into the red health range. We Ice Fang farm down and take that game. J-Frog saving 2 shields for next season, and why not? It's only a few hours away. In the next battle, we've got Summers himself, the guy who helped put this whole thing together. We've got Haunter in the Ultra League. Spoiler, this is the Pokemon that Summers has lost the most elo with. Mine personally is Hypno. I think Hypno's garbage. And speaking of which, he's got not only Haunter, but also Hypno on the same team. I've used this Pokemon so many times. I pretty much try and use it every season, and it's only made 1 video because that was the only day I managed to go positive with it. The other 5 or 6 seasons, I managed to get absolutely clapped, going results like 4 and 21, 5 and 20, and all that other terrible performances that aren't really worth featuring. It looks like Summers getting more out of his Hypno than I did, able to force a Protect Shield with the Legacy Psyshock on Ampharos. The opponent then sends out Swampert. Swampert does not appreciate the Psyshock, and Dusknoir hits the field of play. Dusknoir wastes no time, goes straight for the Shadow Punch, apply massive shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent obliges, putting up that Protect Shield. Unless they're firing off an Earthquake, any one move should be survivable. We're actually going to choose to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Hydro Cannon. The opponent already the next Hydro Cannon, but this will not get the job done. Dusknoir left into the red health range. Dusknoir overfarms, fires off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch will be moving Swampert from the field of play. Back out comes Ampharos. Ampharos going to be greeted with the Shadow Punch. I think here an argument could be made that you should throw the Dynamic Punch, as Dynamic Punch does do more. We're going to send out Hypno. The opponent going to dump energy. Are they doubled up? Please tell me they're not, because Haunter definitely ain't surviving a charge move. They are not. We Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. In the next battle, Summers diving into the Master League. We annihilate into Landorus. If it was on Ice Punch, this wouldn't be a bad matchup, as it's double super effective. We're going for the Hail Mary close combat, but of course, these are blind battles where movesets aren't revealed, so the opponent might shield, fearful of that double super effective move. We farm up a boatload of energy, fire off the Rage Fist, the opponent stone cold no shield. Summers looks to fire off the next Rage Fist, but loses CMP. Landorus has a monstrous attack stat and doesn't really lose too many CMP ties in this format. The next Rage Fist goes unshielded, Annihilate looking for that resisted farm down, which we're able to get. We do leave low, but we are boosted. Out comes Rhyperior. One boosted counter into the Rage Fist. Rage Fist forces our shield back, and the opponent is going to mod slap farm us down. Summers finds himself, he's back against the wall as Ho-Oh and Dialga, respectively, both not going to be particularly good into this Rhyperior. We send out Ho-Oh, the opponent full send the Rock Wrecker, which we correctly shield. Summer's going to return fire with the Sacred Fire. Shadow and Shadow Crime, despite this being resisted, will do a lot. We're able to force the opponent's final Protect Shield, send out Dialga. Dialga tearing through Rhyperior with the Dragon Breaths, but unable to farm down. The opponent throw the Breaking Swipe, continue to stay in, recognise they're going to get farmed down, opt to throw Breaking Swipe number 2. Can Ho-Oh nuke whatever's in the back? Ho-Oh hits the field of play. The opponent sends out Kiram. We're going to fire off the Brave Bird. This is a Shadow Ho-Oh. Is Brave Bird enough to knock out? Yes, it is. Get that Kiram off my screen. We resisted. Incinerate farm down Rhyperior and will be emerging victorious. In the next battle, jumping back into the Open Ultra League, we see Aurorus into Gliscopod. We make a beautiful catch, catching the Aqua Jet onto Blastoise, banking our energy in the process. I actually recorded some really fun battles of Aurorus Cresselia core that I was going to shoutcast, but unfortunately just run out of time. But that is what makes the Shadow Hub such an awesome community, as we still get to see it in action. Blastoise fires off the Skull Bash. The opponent showed absolutely no respect, get one shot vanquished, back to their Pokeball, and out comes Gator. Gator going to be greeted with the Hydro Cannon. We then see the pivot into Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen with 2 shields to hide behind, and now would be a good idea to start using them, as these Hydro Cannon, Shadow and Shadow Crime, would come very close to picking up a one-hit KO. We look to fire off the Poison Fang, but lose CMP. We're now down both Protect Shields, but this Poison Fang likely forces one back. Potentially anyway, the opponent might look to 2 shield whatever's in the back. The opponent actually do shield up that Hydro Cannon, then end up settling for a Dragon Claw, which is a huge mistake and a decision this opponent might live to regret. Charizard might look like a dragon, but of course they're flying fire types like Dragon Claw without the same type attack bonus did not do much of anything. Oh boy, there's the catch. We bank our energy on Nidoqueen, catch the next Dragon Claw onto Big Man Blastoise. Nidoqueen re-enters the arena, able to get that Poison Jab farm down. Back out comes Gator with that shield to hide behind, and the opponent's kind of obliged to invest that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Poison Fang. The opponent able to farm down. Aurorus has the Weather Ball banked. Oh boy, we lose CMP. Can Aurorus survive a Shadow Hydro Cannon? Who was worried, Aurorus? The big neck dinosaur holds strong, reaches the Weather Ball, and with a -1 defense, Gator will not be surviving this move, and we take that game. I'm actually quite sad I didn't get to feature my Aurorus battles. I was just memeing and dreaming with that Aurorus Cresselia core, but my gosh, is this thing a monster. In the next battle, holy cow, we've got a Shadow Mewtwo sighting. This team composition is absolutely insane. Triple Shadow Legendaries in the Ultra League. In the Master League, you'd think this team makes sense, but in the Ultra League, when these things are at a very low level, they are so bloody glassy. But undeterred, we're going to shield up the Hydro Cannon, force our shield back with the Side Strike, and we're going to fire off Side Strike number 2. Mewtwo easily picks up that one-hit KO with a 45 energy neutral charge move, which is absurd. Out comes Skeledirge, and this is Groudon's time to shine. Groudon hits the field of play. We're going to farm up. It looks like we attempt to catch a Torch Song onto Ho-Oh, and our catch attempt is unsuccessful. Ho-Oh, without a doubt, the bulkiest member of the team, happily absorbed the Shadow Ball and able to reach the Brave Bird on what looks like to be a charge attack priority. Brave Bird was actually caught on Primarina. The opponent caught the charge move and invested the Protect Shield. Groudon gonna overfarm, fire off the Precipice Blades, have no doubt, Precipice Blades, monstrous overkill, back out comes Skeledirge, looking for that double up, unable to get it before the next Precipice Blades is reached, and Groudon nukes the back line, and we take that game. That was absolutely bloody awesome. Heading into the next battle, we are going Degenerate mode. No, the opponent's on Frost Breath, what the heck? We pivot into Sharpedo. Look at these resisted waterfalls go. Sharpedo waste no time. Go straight for the Poison Fang. Poison Fang gets no respect. Sharpedo able to resisted waterfall farm down. A Hisuian Sneasel. It looks like the opponent also a fan of Spice. We're going to wait out our clock. And I imagine we're just going to try and Dragon Breath the shit out of this thing. Right on cue. Dragonair hits the field of play. This is the easiest one shield. Dragon Breath farm down of this trainer's GBL life. The opponent pivots out into Haunter. Haunter getting torn apart by the Dragon Breath. Shadow teams can be quite degenerate and quite effective. And this battle is going to be a prime example of that. Dragonair, Dragon Breath farms down everything. And we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we've got Bob the God Trying what I like to call the 4 shield challenge. You have 1 Pokemon and 2 Pokemon that are nothing more than a 3rd shield. As you can tell, these Pokemon have non-existent CP. We're able to catch the first move onto Shadow Magikarp. Thank you very much for your contribution. Zapdos likely returns, as of course we can't send out the 4th shield just yet, but the issue for us is we are going to be switch locked. It looks like Zapdos happy to invest 1 Protect Shield, fully Thundershock farm down unless the opponent pivots. The opponent doesn't pivot, giving us a huge amount of energy. I haven't even seen what come out, but it's going to be greeted with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck forces the Protect Shield off the incoming Obstagoon. Zapdos is insanely glassy, but thankfully taking very little damage from the counters. We're then able to catch on Smeagol, whatever it's called. It made a very brief cameo appearance. Zapdos re-enters the arena, fires off 1 further Drill Peck, forcing the final Protect Shield. Zapdos has the energy for the Thunderbolt, which we are going to YOLO Thunderbolt. Monstrous damage, potentially setting up a Thundershock farm down. Zapdos looking for that farm down. Can we get it? Yes, we can, but we leave on minimal HP. What is that 3rd? Out comes Cypher. Drill Peck's got a 1-shot right. This thing cannot take a hit to save its life. I can't believe the opponent actually survived, but we're already doubled up, and we will be taking that game. Oof. Wild. Heading into the next battle. We see a battle of Glass Cannon, Shadow Darmanitan into Morpeko. Oh my days, that Incinerate damage is absolutely disgusting. The opponent doesn't help their cause, throwing the Aura Wheel on alignment, which just sets up Darmanitan, the easiest 1 shield and full Incinerate farm down of its life. We then see the pivot into Amoonguss, and out comes Toxapex. This isn't a bad matchup for us. We're only taking neutral from the poison jabs, and the grass knot we're running does a lot of neutral damage in return. Even if the opponent falls in a sludge wave, which I was anticipating, I was going to say it is survivable in the Great League. The opponent like, nah, I love to masturbate, and that might be a decision that they live to regret. Foul play removes them from the field of play, and out comes the Quagman. The Quagman wastes no time, firing off the Mud Bomb, picking up the knockout. We see the battle of Mudboy. Swampert hits the field of play, but is going to get outpaced. I feel like sometimes Pokemon Go is a bit like chess, where you got to think many moves ahead, and I already know how this battle is going to end. All we've got to do is force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and it's time to give the opponent that wham, bam, combo play, Big Mac, and the fries. Hydro Cannon force that final Protect Shield right on cue. Darmanitan hits the field of play, Focus Blast, massive overkill, screenshot for the road, and we take that game. In the next battle, we've got yet another Shadow Incinerate user, but we see the same lead. Please tell me this opponent doesn't throw an alignment. Oh boy. I preach fast move timing a lot on this channel. I think that's the difference between those that hit a good rank in the Go Battle League and those that do not. So the opponent should have thrown 7 Thundershocks rather than spamming the move. Oh crap, there's the Solar Beam. What was I saying? Yeah, fast move timing, 2 turn into 5 turn. Of course, you want to ideally throw 2 quick moves or 7. The idea is to give minimal 3 turns. If you throw 5, you give a full 3 Incinerate sneak, which is going to be detrimental into your chance of winning a battle. It looks like this opponent has learnt his lesson, correctly shielding the Solar Beam. How would I love to see 2 Shadow Solar Beams land in the same battle, but it's not meant to be. We send out Gator, the opponent pivots back out into Morpeko. We save for Alligator, send out Golurk, the opponent fire off the Psychic Fangs, Golurk mud slapping away, able to reach the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch should be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and it does. The opponent can farm up all the energy in the world, but this game is over. Mud Bomb picks up the knockout. Gator re-enters the arena. We could have fired off a Hydro Cannon. We don't bother. Mud Bomb easily survivable. We Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see a beautiful lead. Shadow Jumpluff into Guzzlord. Our quick move of Fairy Wing going to be double super effective into Guzzlord, as both Dragon and Dark do take super effective from Fairy, or weak to Fairy if you prefer. However, that being said, Fairy Wind not really known for its fast move pressure, and we're not a Fairy either, meaning they don't get same type attack bonus. Able to successfully aerial ace bait the opponent, fire off the crunch, getting the defense drop, and this time we're going for that kill shot, YOLOing that Hail Mary acrobatics. Acrobatics forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We save Jumpluff as a potential shield and send out Drapion. Drapion going to be greeted with the Dragon Claw. The opponent then pivots out into the Snail. I hate this Pokemon. It is such a pathetic, useless RPS pick, especially when Jumpluff's so common. Why do people run Gastrodon? I have no idea. As the opponent had Gastrodon, hence they double shielded that opening matchup as they were petrified of Jumpluff. However, Jumpluff might be low, but it's not really in danger of getting Mud Slap farmed down as the Mud Slaps are triple resisted. We fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace isn't enough to knock out, but the opponent is going to fire off the Body Slam. And it is now Typhlosion time. Typhlosion hits the field of play. Back out comes Guzzlord. The opponent throws on alignment. Can we fully incinerate farm down? I think we can. Typhlosion gets that resisted. Incinerate farm down. Bring back out that Snail. We'll farm that down as well, trainer. The opponent actually sends out Toxapex, 1 Incinerate and the Thunder Punch for optimal fast move timing, only giving the opponent 1 free turn. 1 further Incinerate and the next Thunder Punch. This Thunder Punch won't quite be lethal, but will leave them low. Typhlosion rapidly running out of HP. The opponent send out Gastron, try to mud that farm down. Typhlosion holds strong, leaving with the Thunder Punch, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we've got Zach. I'm going to give Zach a huge apology. He sent me numerous awesome shoutcasts this season. I've not managed to have the time to showcase them, but don't worry, buddy. I promise I've got you next season. We see XL Zatu. What is this thing doing? It's actually putting in work against Toxapex, which is kind of crazy. It manages to force us an early shield advantage, which we're certainly not complaining about. And out comes Ghastly. No, this team's insanely classy. Thankfully, these poison jabs are double resisted, as both Ghost and Poison do resist poison itself. Ghastly looking for that full Astonish farm down, which we're able to get, leaving with all the energy in the world. The opponent sends out Azumarill. Please go unshielded. Please, please. Sludge Bomb. Bang! No, they survive. Holy cow, Azumarill. You bulky boy. Out comes Primate. Aaron, gonna fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam, force the final Tech Shield. This game's over. Absolutely over. Do you think Primate survives a move from Ghastly? I highly, highly doubt it. Am I gonna be wrong? Primate, do you survive a move? Come on, little monkey. Can you tank the damage? They cannot. Ghastly picks up the 1-hit KO. Astonish farms down Azumarill, and we take that game. Another absolutely incredible battle. Heading into the next battle, we've got a triple shadow, triple flying theme, or perhaps meme team. I'll let you decide. We see Clodsire in the lead position. Clodsire fires off the Sludge Bomb. Pidgeot flapping away, tanks the damage, and gonna YOLO the Brave Bird. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Near get one shot. Quick switch into Salamence and able to snipe. I believe we're running Fire Fang. That is definitely Fire Fang. If this was Dragon Tail, this Greninja would definitely not be entering the arena. Salamence tanks the Night Slash. Oh my days, that did a lot. Thankfully, able to survive the Water Shrieking. Reach the fly, force the Protect Shield. We're going to get resisted. Water Shrucken farm down. Water Shrieking farm down. Man, that's a hard thing to say. We send out Pidgeot. Pidgeot going to be operating as the damage sponge. And all our hopes and dreams on Staraptor, nuking whatever's in the back. Staraptor going to be investing that Protect Shield. Getting baited with the Night Slash, and the opponent gets the boost. That, of course, means we're obliged to shield this move up. We need to hope the opponent's weak to either flying or fighting in the back, so we can pick up a 1-hit KO. You couldn't ask for a better Pokemon. Out comes Scrafty, weak to both flying and fighting. We fire off the first fly, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Staraptor hits like a truck, have no doubt fly, picks up that 1-hit KO, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we've got none other than my favourite content creator, the GOAT, Callum on Toast, running the full Ghastly evolution line. We see Dunsparce in the lead position, which is definitely a problematic Pokemon, but would Callum have it any other way? We're going to shield up the Drillron, 1 Shadow Claw, and the Ice Punch. Of course, throwing at disciplined timing. Ice Punch goes unshielded, doing decent damage. The second one actually looks like it might force a knockout, or at least a shield back. We throw on charge attack priority. Dunsparce obliges, putting up that Protect Shield. Callum going to say, Haunter, thank you very much for your contribution, and hope Gengar or Ghastly can remove this from the field of play. These Shadow Claws are double resisted and doing absolutely nothing. How does Callum win this? If, of course, he does win it. I think all these battles are wins. I could be wrong. We're going to overfarm, fire off the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch is double resisted, but does force the opponent's final Protect Shield. Callum has that Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is going to get the job done, removing Dunsparce from the field of play. The opponent then send up Big Man Blastoise. Gengar able to fire off the Shadow Punch on the CMP side. I think this is an intentional Shadow Punch, wanting to get an energy lead on Ghastly. I like that a lot. Hydro Cannon easy going to pick up the 1-hit KO. What do we need in the back for Ghastly to win the Zero Shield matchup? Ghastly able to Astonish farm down. Out comes Superior. We reach the Sludge Bomb. That is certainly something. The Sludge Bomb will pick up that 1-hit KO on, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, Callum is jumping in to the Open Ultra League, and he is flexing hard on us, running a triple shadow team with all 3 of these team members being perfect 100% IVs. We lead Kanto Weezing into Dragonite, these rollouts doing a lot, and the opponent doesn't throw on great timing either, meaning that rollout does sneak. Callum invests to protect shield. Gonna look to fire off the sludge bomb. Dragonite users tend to shield everything, and I'm anticipating this going shielded. The opponent obliges, putting up that protect shield. We're actually able to outpace to the next sludge bomb as Dragonite looks for the Dragon Breath farm down. Down goes Dragonite. The opponent sends out Drapion. Oh man, we've got double psychic in the back. How the heck do we beat a Drapion? Opponent fires off the Aquatail. Aquatail picks up the knockout. Girafarig hits the field of play. Released on double kick. That means these do hit for neutral. Callum going to be investing in the protect shield. Correctly shielding up the crunch. An Aquatail bait there would have been brutal. Our charge moves are fully walled. So Callum going to fire off the single resisted Psychic Fang. Debuffing Drapion's defense. Drapion not interested in shielding. And this Drapion is still such a threat. Huh? The opponent forced our shield with a crunch. And then for an Aquatail when we had no shields. That is one of the most puzzling plays I've ever seen. Out comes Tentacruel. Hypno going to be able to fully Confusion Farm this down. Tank the Scald, no problem whatsoever. Is Callum running Focus Blast? Yes, he is. However, we don't commit to it. Just recognising we just need to get off some damage on Drapion. Psyshock forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Trainer, please throw the crunch. Please, I beg of you. No, it's another Aquatail. Why would you throw crunches when we've got shields and then Aquatail when we don't? I'm so confused. What a bamboozling battle. But Callum able to beat a Drapion, running a double psychic backline, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. This video reminds me of the time I ran an ultra marathon. You think you're doing well and you realise you're not even halfway through. We need Garchomp into, I can't even see what is opposing Garchomp. Garchomp, you're too bloody big, man. You're taking up like the entirety of the screen. The opposing Pokemon is revealed to be a best buddy Girafarig. What a cool pick. I remember I played one of these the other day and I was like, what the heck is this Pokemon? I don't even know what it's called. Thankfully, now I've learned. We pivot into Gator. As this thing's running Mud Slap, we need to keep this thing far away from Typhlosion. Gator gets debuffed with the Poison Fang. The opponent then tries to catch a Hydro Cannon onto Walrein. Unfortunately, we're going to have to throw Hydro Cannons anyway as we don't run Crunch. I don't really think there's any merit to Crunch. I think Ice Beam certainly the way to go. Despite Gator only hitting resisted, with these charges, the second Hydro Cannon going to put in work, putting this Walrein into the red health range. Out comes Typhlosion. They're only going to reach one move. That Incinerate will be knocking out. So this is a very, very safe shield. We correctly shield the Earthquake. Back out comes Girafarig. We're going to fire off the Thunder Punch, hopefully calling off a timer, which we do. We send back out Garchomp. Garchomp unable to Dragon Tail farm down before the Poison Fangs reach. Poison Fang won't be lethal, but will force a very annoying debuff on us. Out comes Pangoro. We're going to YOLO the Outrage. Outrage. Oof. Monstrous damage. The opponent able to Karate Chop farm down, but Typhlosion able to Incinerate farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see for Alligator. The Angry Alligator into Moltres. Not a great matchup for us. What makes Gator such a menace is a combination of Shadow Claw and Hydro Cannon spam. So when you're facing a Pokemon that resists your quick move, it isn't really anywhere near as good as it is normally. However, saying that, the opponent farming up 1 bazillion energy, allowing us to reach the second Hydro Cannon, forcing the first Protect Shield of the game. The opponent is going to have to Brave Bird to pick up that one-hit KO. They set off the Ancient Power, meaning we save Gator as a third shield. And Naga Nagal, I can't say this Pokemon, Naga Nadal, we're just going to call it the Dragon, hits the field of play. Despite the fact English is my first and only language, I don't speak English particularly well, and this is definitely a Pokemon I'm not even going to try and pronounce again. Out comes Skeledirge. Skeledirge did not tank the Acrobatics well whatsoever. Acrobatics, a busted move. The opponent fire off the Torch Song, which doesn't get the job done. We're unable to reach the next Acrobatics. But who even knows the counts for this Pokemon? Fail Stinger forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We send out Groudon. Unfortunately get denied. Coming in, Groudon. Going to invest the Protect Shield. Blocking up the Torch Song. The opponent not wanting to see the farm down. Send out Gator. We farm up. Make the catch. Back onto our own Gator. Giving us a fighting chance. Hydro Cannon, of course, would have knocked out the opponent smartly. Go for the undercharge, but we're still going to be able to outpace. We maximise energy, throwing the Precipice Blades on the charge attack priority. Down goes Gator. Back out comes Moltres. The Fire Punch lands on its intended target. It's going to be high Moltres, by Moltres. We should be able to Mud Shot, farm down Skeledirge, and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we've got the one and only ex-Boston. Let's see what shenanigans he's up to. We've got Sneasel, what looks like a Master League Sneasel as well. Absolute insanity. We see Palkia in the lead position. Boston tries to fire off the close combat, but loses CMP. This is probably better for us, as we do want the Aquatail to come through before we debuff our own defense. Aquatail looked like it was super effective, near one-shotting us, but in return, the close combat also almost one-shots the opponent. Out comes Ursaring, able to Shadow Claw farm down, and the Tin Can hits the field of play. Trainer, it's just a Swift. Close combat! Oh, goes shielded. We reset our debuff, and the Angry Ape hits the field of play. Annihilate instantly going to be putting up that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Iron Head, and the opponent sends out Groudon. Boston wastes no time. YOLO's the close combat right off the bat. Close combat. Oh, holy, that did a lot. Boston going to be investing that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Fire Punch bait, but no bait. Will be saving Groudon's fate. We're able to farm down, back out. Comes Annihilate. Boston, I thought he was going to commit to fast moves, but actually going to throw the Rage Fist. Rage Fist forced the final Protect Shield. We pivot into Ursaring. We're able to Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle. We lead Shadow Machamp into Tapu Lele. Dreadful lead for us. We're going to say switch into Shadow Excadrill. The opponent banks some energy and then send out Kyurem. Kyurem going to be greeted with the Rock Slide. Rock Slide, not the best move, but does hit for super effective and does force the first Protect Shield of the game. Opponent doesn't commit to the full Ice Fang farm down, and Boston more than happy to let Excadrill go down. I don't even think Machamp can fully... Are we on counter or Karate Chop? Let's see. We're on Karate Chop for quicker energy generation. We're not going to be able to Karate Chop farm down, so we go straight for the Cross Chop. Cross Chop goes unshielded, and down goes Kyurem. We then pivot out into Sneasel. The opponent continues to stay in. Oh boy, and then send out Dawn Wings. Sneasel core breaking this opponent. The first Night Slash goes shielded, which is something you never want to do, as of course Night Slash does have a 12.5% chance of getting the boost. Boston going to be investing in the Protect Shield, shielding at the Dark Pulse. Sneasel already at the next Night Slash. Night Slash going to do a lot. Holy, massive damage. Sneasel looking for the Bullet Punch farm down, which we're able to get, leaving one Bullet Punch off the charge move. I think we're actually two, but Boston with that shield tie behind, going to be shielding up the side shot. We've got that Trailblaze banked. Is Trailblaze enough to knock out from this range? Yes, it is. Get that Tapu Lele off my screen, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. We have Hisuian Sneasel into Obstagoon. A pretty decent matchup for us. Unless the opponent's on Hyper Beam, we're going to fully wall this moveset. The opponent throws either a Cross Chop or a Night Slash, or potentially an Obstruct, but regardless of whatever they threw, that just simply wasn't going to get the job done. Boston, with a boatload of energy, going for the Aerial Ace bait. Aerial Ace, force the protection, and this time Boston is full sending. Does the opponent want to keep Obstagoon around? Close combat. Oh, I wanted to see a boom. Unfortunately goes shielded, setting Boston up with 2-0 shield advantage. Night Slash, as we debuffed our defense, does pick up the knockout. We now send out Sableye. There's no shot. I've just realised this is Ultra League. Ultra League Sableye? Are you serious? As this thing's so heavily underleveled, I don't even know if Dazzling Gleam knocks out from here, and the Shadow Claws are triple resisted. Oh, it doesn't knock out, and we are never, ever Shadow Claw farming down. Well, potentially we will at some point, but they are literally doing one apiece. Boston looking for that farm down, which we're able to get. We're going to bank this energy and send out Mightyena. The opponent sends out Venusaur. Venusaur, we're going to have to shield this Frenzy Plant. I was going to say, has the potential to near one-shot us with a charge move. Boston farming up as much energy as he physically can. Going to fire off the Crunch. Have we Sucker Punch this into Crunch range? Crunch isn't quite lethal, but able to Sucker Punch farm down afterwards. And out comes Swampert. Swampert instantly going to be greeted with the Crunch. Please debuff the defense. Crunch, no debuff. Is the opponent doubled up? I think they're one short. If they're one short, we need Foul Play to knock out, or even the Gleam. I think we should Gleam Ears. Gleam does do more. Is Foul Play enough to knock out? Yes, Boston gets over the line. That team was ridiculous. GG's, buddy. The ridiculous spice does not stop there. As next up, we've got an Ultra League Shadow Jumpluff. What does Jumpluff beat in the Ultra League? Probably Gastrodon. And people still run that nonsense in Ultra League as well. Oh my gosh, we've got Purugly in the lead, but Purugly clearly is the algorithm confirmed. As we see Decidueye, we say switch into Electrode, and out comes Toucannon. Looks like the opponent's trying to outspice Boston, but we certainly have the spicier team. Toucannon greeted, oh my days, with the discharge straight in and straight out. Electrode looking to steal the spotlight. Foul Play also goes unshielded, and this Electrode's getting out of hand. Decidueye attempts to astonish farm down. Electrode looks quite grumpy, but it should be smiling as he's putting in a whole heap of work here. Forces the first Protect Shield of the game. Boston waits out his clock I'm actually going to send out Jumpluff, anticipating the opponent Blind Frenzy planting. Please, Blind Frenzy. They actually go for the Spirit Shackle, which actually is very minimal damage. And the opponent sends out Drifblim. Boston going to YOLO the Acrobatics. A really good move. Probably don't do much in the Ultra League. I can't believe we actually forced the shield there. Trainer. This thing's like 1800 CP. Probably hits the field of play. Going to shield up the incoming Icy Wind. We've got 2 shields. It's not a bad idea to start investing them. Boston going to double shield here. Shielding up back-to-back Icy Winds. What move is this one? I think that's Thunder. Boston able to reach the Thunder, but this is 2-stage debuff. Thunder still removes the balloon from the field of play. Back out comes Decidueye. Decidueye gonna fire off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant picks up the knockup. Back out comes Jumpluff. Jumpluff, despite its minimal CP, able to Fairy Wind farm down, and we take that game. Next up, we've got Betsy flexing some Shadow Spice in the Master League for us to enjoy. We see a battle of ground types with Shadow Garchomp into Landorus. In this battle of ground types, the opponent likely going to fire off the ever-annoying debuff before we reach the outrage. The opponent actually bank their energy, send out the Tin Can, which is an interesting choice. Who sends a Tin Can, or any steel type for that matter, into a loaded ground type? We force a Protect Shield with the Sand Tomb, send out Rhyperior. Rhyperior will be looking for that 1 shield. Full Mud Slap farm down, which is very easily achievable after the Sand Tomb debuff. Are we going to shield here? Yes, we are. Back out comes Landorus. Landorus fires off a Sancia Storm, and we're going for a cheeky Breaking Swipe bait. Even at -1, Rock Wrecker is threatening. The opponent gets the call wrong, shielding up the Breaking Swipe. We just settle for another Breaking Swipe, worried the opponent will outpace to the next Sancia Storm. Breaking Swipe does a lot of damage. Quick switch into Garchomp, but unable to Dragon Tail Snipe. Garchomp has a monstrous stat product, hence the high CP, meaning we're actually able to survive the Sancia Storm, and out comes Palkia. We send out Shadow Zone. Shadow Zone, gonna overfarm, fire off the Wild Charge. This hits for neutral and gonna do a lot of neutral damage. Wild Charge almost knocks out. The opponent gonna fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail will remove a Magnezone from the field of play. Back out comes Rhyperior. Rhyperior able to Mud Slap farm down. Back out comes Landorus. Rhyperior able to outpace to the Breaking Swipe, and we take that game. Magnezone in the Master League. You love to see it. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we've got Alpha Club, who hit Legend for the first time this season. Congrats, buddy. Well deserved. Running Electabuzz, not even Electivire, into Typhlosion. Electabuzz, of course, not going to appreciate this Incinerate damage. To be honest, no Shadow Pokemon appreciates Incinerate damage unless you resist fire. We force a protection with the Thunder Punch, then pivot into something that does resist fire. And we're actually able to win CMP, firing off the Fire Punch. Typhlosion not wanting to lose its energy. Going to invest in Protect Shield, Thunder Punch. Gets us low, but I think we reach one further Thunder Punch. The opponent recognises that and snipe with a Azumarill, but this Azumarill is now switch locked. Back out comes Electabuzz, and we are going straight for the hard hitting Thunderbolt. How much does this do in the Great League? Oof! My, a lot of damage. Unfortunately, unable to Thunder Shock farm down before Azumarill reaches the Ice Beam. Ice Beam removes us from the field of play, and it's all down to Machoke to clean up. Machoke looking for that resisted. Karate Chop farm down, unfortunately unable to get it before the Ice Beam's reached. We're going to invest the final Protect Shield. Machoke leaves absolutely loaded. Out comes Cradilly. Oh, trainer, say it ain't so. Cradilly not going to appreciate the Dynamic Punch. Easily picking up the one-hit KO. We look to fire off the next one. Lose CMP, but we've still got that shield tied behind. We're going to shield up the Thunder Punch, return fire with Dynamic Punch number 2. And that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, and back at it with some Master League shenanigans. We see Mamoswine into Landorus. If we're on Powder Snow, great. If we're on Mud Slap, not fantastic. The opponent actually doesn't stay in to check the quick move. Instead, instantly pivoting out into the new kid on the block. We send out Machamp that does at least resist the Sucker Punches, but my god, Machamp cannot take a hit to save its life in this format. Machamp able to survive the Sucker Punches. Reaching the cross chop, the opponent shield fully farm down. We send back out Mamoswine. I guess our play here is 1 shield and full Mud Slap farm down. The question becomes, can we do that before the next Dynamic Punch is reached? It's going to be close. Mamoswine looks at that farm down, able to get it, leaving with all the energy in the world. The opponent goes for the show and go, catching the Avalanche onto Kirin, but this Avalanche still hits for neutral, and a lot of neutral damage at that. We then send out Lugia. Lugia looks for the Dragon Tail farm down, unable to get it. We are going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Ice Berm, and that should be game over. We just need to YOLO the Aero Blast. Oh my god, we've got Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump! Bang! There it is. What a spicy nuke. And we take that game. Heading into the next battle, and we are at the 45-minute mark, and I can't quite believe there's still like 35 minutes to go. We see Pidgeot into Drapion. We're going to say switch into Wish Daddy Cash, and out comes Glissapod. We are completely walled here. This is such a tough spot to be in. Interestingly enough, the opponent threw an X-Scissor as opposed to an Aqua Jet. Whilst we are a water type, we're part ground, meaning Aqua Jet hits for neutral and would be the most energy efficient path for the opponent to go down. Wish Daddy Cash, trying to put in work, make the best of a dire situation, spamming out Mud Bomb after Mud Bomb. The opponent not wanting to tank another Mud Bomb as it would threaten a shield. Fire off the Aqua Jet this time, removing us from the field of play. The opponent very nicely overfarmed, meaning Pidgeot unable to achieve the farm down before the Aqua Jet's reached. Aqua Jet rocks us below half health back out. Comes Drapion, the opponent throws on alignment, we get a free Gust. And we are going to invest to protect the opponent bait with the Aqua Tail, and we're also baited in return with the Legacy Air Cutter. Air Cutter forces the Protect Shield. We're doubled up and just going to settle for an Air Cutter. I don't believe we boosted, so this should be survivable. The opponent actually invests both Protect Shields. We pivot into the Quagman, and out comes Jellicent. Quagman looking very happy, but unfortunately we did end up throwing an alignment, which is never great, although we do have a shield advantage. We're going to call the Surf Bait. The opponent forcing the Shadow Ball, rocking us into the red health range. We've still got a shield to hide behind. We're going to save it and put it all on Pidgeot. Surf picks up the knockout. Can we Gust farm down before they reach a charge move? No, we can't. As long as Drapion doesn't have a move, we're home and dry. We shield at the Surf. Does Drapion have a charge move? It looks like the answer to that question is no. We fire off the Air Cutter. Air Cutter picks up the knockout, and we take that game. I didn't actually see a Poison Sting come through. Drapion normally wins a CMP type, but it is IV dependent, usually in Drapion's favour. Heading into the next battle, we see Big Dick B, one of my favourite Pokemon. It's getting 2 buffs in Season 23, gaining access to Poison Sting. It's also got Bug Bite, that is now becoming a Bug Dragon Breath clone, which is kind of absurd. Speaking of which, here's an example of why it's absurd. Look at the Dragon Breath damage. This is only neutral, but it tore through Cradilly. We don't shield Dragonair, send Beedrill back into the arena and look to get ahead in energy. Beedrill overfarms, fires off the X-Scissor, either going to knock out or force that shield. Down goes Cradilly. The Pancake re-enters the arena. One move is survivable. I just go straight Drill Run and force a shield or massive damage. We actually continue to farm up. We now need to be mindful the opponent could snipe us if they've got any fast move pressure on the back. As I say, that Talonflame hits the field of play. We see it coming in, save Beedrill and all this energy, and Salamence hits the field of play. I think we just need to try and fully Dragon Breath farm down. Dragon Tail, sorry. Do 3 Dragon Tails knock out? 1, 2, 3. Yes, they do. The opponent still has 2 shields, but Salamence absolutely loaded. I think the opponent's got to save a shield. They're likely Drill Run. They actually shield up the Fly. They have to let this go. Although I'm not even sure they can survive a Shadow Fly. Fly forces the final Protect Shield, and that is the final nail in this opponent's coffin. Even if they're doubled up, Beedrill would win CMP. We've got that Drill Run locked and loaded, and Beedrill is a Stunfisk counter confirmed. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, and we are diving back into the Spice Zone. This is, believe it or not, the Master League. Yes, that's a Tentacruel, and yes, that's a Steelix. Both nowhere near 3000 CP. This entire team is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Weavile does at least have some CP, but this thing is so glassy. Thankfully, we see Marshadow in the lead. We do resist Dark. These Sucker Punches don't look all that resisted, but we do correctly shut up the close combat. We attempt to throw the Avalanche, but unfortunately do get outpaced. We're going to go all in on Weavile and look to pick our alignment in the back. Avalanche at this point is going to be massive overkill. We just want to remove Marshadow from the field of play. Down goes Marshadow. The opponent sends out Nihilego. We bank the Avalanche to the road. Send out Tentacruel, baiting out Landorus. Tentacruel going to go for the Scold. Scold is super effective. We are so underleveled. Scold, oh my gosh, still does a lot though. Holy. The opponent farming up as much energy as they physically can. Going to farm up to the double Sancia Storm. Sancia Storm easily removes Tentacruel from the field of play. We send out Weavile, look to fire off the Avalanche, but also lose CMP. And it's all down to Steelix to clean up. Steelix hits the field of play. Dragon Tail farms down Landorus. The opponent sends back out Nihilego. Don't want that work. And they concede the match. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we are flexing with Shiny Shadow Sizzle. This thing's going to be a monster in Season 23. Mark my words. The opponent say switch into Virizion. And here comes Muck. The nice Alolan version as well. Rocking that very nice rainbow effect. Muck going to invest that Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Sacred Sword. We're going to fire off one poison jab and the acid spray for optimal fast move time. And acid spray won't be lethal, will enable a poison jab farm down before the next sacred swords reach. The opponent sends back out Lapras. These Psywaves are resisted. The opponent can have a tough time of trying to single resisted Psywave farm us down. They're single resisted, of course, as Dark does double resist Psychic, whereas Poison does take super effective. We landed the Dark Pulse on the charge attack priority, send out Ampharos. The opponent pivots out into Talonflame, and look at these Volt Switches go. Ampharos going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Flame Charge. I thought we were going to try and fully farm down. We actually throw 2 Volt Switches and the Brutal Swing. We're able to win CMP, so I was going to say we should have thrown 1 for optimal fast move time. But this play certainly works for us. Sizzle should tank a double boosted Incinerate, right? You've got to tank 1, buddy. Please? Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen a quick move do so much damage. We're able to get that farm down, leaving with the Trailblaze, and Trailblaze is going to remove Lapras from the field of play as we take that game. Heading into the next battle, what shenanigans have we got in store here? Primeape into Sneasel. It looks like we're having a spice off. This is an awful matchup for us. The opponent's running Aerial Ace, that I assume they are. Potentially as X-Scissor. Hopefully X-Scissor, please, question mark. Oh, huge cojones. We're actually just going to YOLO the close combat. That is resisted, but Sneasel insanely glassy. Going to oblige, putting up the Protect Shield, and we send out Galarian Weezing. I think close combat's mandatory. So that's going to be double resisted. X's are also going to be resisted. So Weezing should be a pretty good wall. The opponent saves Sneasel, send out Regirock. The opponent really is sticking to the script, also running a spicy team. Regirock sims really well, but no one ever seems to run it. We're going for the hard hitting Play Rough, looking to do maximum damage. Play Rough. That was still disappointing. Regirock is such a wall. The opponent's on Rock Smash though, which certainly isn't the correct quick move. Please run Lock On if you're going to run Regirock whatsoever. How does this trainer know the counts for Rock Smash? Who even knows that? We catch the Stone Edge, send back out Weezing. Weezing able to Fairy Wind farm down, and out comes Gator. For those of you newer to the game, Feraligatr was never used in the Go Battle League before it had Shadow Claw because Waterfall generates energy far too slowly. Although saying that, the opponent is able to Waterfall farm us down. We send out Tentacle, and Tentacle with 2 shields is looking more or less unbeatable. Opponent fire off the X's. These poison jabs are resisted, but Tentacle does not care about that. What it does care about is getting to 2 skulls, 1 to remove Sneasel from the field of play. And I don't even think we need to throw a charge move in this Gator as it is so low. We're actually going to shield flex. The opponent throw the Hydro Cannon, simply doesn't cut it. We poison jab farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we have a Shadow Aerodactyl sighting into Cradilly. Rock's such a bad typing, man. Rock doesn't even resist itself, meaning the Rock Tomb is going to hit for super effective. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking up the incoming Rock Tomb. We're going to bank our energy and send out the bear, Ursaring. Ursaring looks to go for the Trailblaze, but unfortunately looks like we got a 1-turn switch. We see the no shield deployed. Off that Rock Tomb just did so much damage, and out comes Clodsire. Ursaring does have a monstrous attack stat, but this is one of the bulkiest mod in the format. A -1 Swift doesn't do much of anything, and the second one isn't going to do much either. Things are looking dire. Aerodactyl cannot return, so we're forced to reveal our third, and we're down a Protect Shield, whilst Articuno does have a good matchup here. If they're on Stone Edge, it'd be double super effective. We're obliged to put up that Protect Shield, and it looks like it's only a Sludge Bomb. No one's going to run Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge, so I guess we tank this next one and look to farm down. The opponent not wanting to see the farm down, send out Sableye. Sableye greeted with the Icy Wind. We're going to save Articuno, pivot into Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl, believe it or not, looking to put in some work. We fire off the Ancient Power. Oh, there's no boost. The opponent sends out Cradilly here, which definitely works for us. Why would you not send out Clodsire? Strange play, but we're going to take it. The opponent fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb picks up the knockout. Articuno, Ice Shard farms down. Can we Ice Shard farm down Clodsire? Yes, we can. I thought that game was definitely over, but we managed to emerge victorious. Heading into the next battle. Shadow Machamp stares down Clodsire. Awful situation. We say switch into Shadow Sableye. This must be a very, very attack-weighted Sableye. It's able to win CMP against Gator. Mine's 0, 15, 15. It doesn't really win CMP against anything unless it's some sort of boring, bulky tank. With that in mind, this featured battle are going to once again farm up, throw the foul play on the charge attack priority. The opponent wants to keep that super positive alignment with an energy lead that simply is not possible. We're going to go all in on Sableye. This time we actually throw 1 quick move before. Probably trying to make sure the opponent doesn't make a catch. Down goes Gator. Back out comes Clodsire. We bank a foul play, send out Machamp. Machamp going to be operating as a damage sponge. I guess we're calling it dead weight. Machamp on this moveset is going to be fully walled. Some do run payback. I would hit for a lot of neutral damage. I believe Machamp actually learns. Is it Iron Head or Heavy Slam? Something like that. That would also hit for neutral, but that is a terrible move. Don't run that. Machamp fires off a cross shot. Clodsire commits to the farm down. We can deny this energy. Throw in the foul play. The opponent actually recognises that play, make a catch onto Annihilate. Annihilate not going to appreciate his foul play or appreciate what's in the back. We send out Crobat. The opponent doesn't want that smoke and they concede the match. GG's. That team was actually an insane flex. Not only was it triple Shadow, it was triple shiny Shadow. Heading into the next battle. Magmar stares down Annihilate. Oh my gosh, this counter damage is disturbing. It's not even disgusting. I'm actually quite disturbed. Magmar going to fire off the Fire Punch. Fire Punch got no respect. Rocking Annihilate into the red health range. We send up Big Man Blastoise to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fire off the Rage Fist. Blastoise not going to be able to roll out farm down, so we do opt to throw the Hydro Cannon. Annihilate's in the red health range. The opponent happy to shield, and they're looking to ride that boost. I think this is going to be some kind of nonsense RPS team. If the opponent's looking to pick their alignment, we send out the Quagman. The opponent is boosted, so I do agree with this shield. Try and keep some health. The opponent threw the Ice Punch. We're able to Mud Shot farm down. And out comes Dugong. Is it a Basti in the back? Come on, trainer. Show us that Basti, because Quagman is looking to feast. The opponent looks to call the bait. Near get one shot. It's actually Clodsire. This is definitely something Scorching Sands will hit for super effective, and a lot of super effective damage at that. Scorching Sands gets no respect. Clodsire instantly put into the red. The opponent continues to poison Sting away. Magmar still not done. Going to fire off the Fire Punch. Fire Punch goes unshielded. The opponent finally able to get that Sting down. Back out comes the Quagman. The Quagman going to be investing that Protect Shield. The opponent falls in the Earthquake. Quagsire Mud Shot farms down. Back out comes Dugong, but Dugong hits like a wet noodle. Opponent fire off the Icy Wind. The super happy Quagman tanks the damage. Mud Shot farms down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. What league are we playing? Looks like some more Great League. We see Poliwrath into Stinkerton. Yes, I called it Stinkerton, not Tinkerton. We waste no time, go straight for the Scold, looking to do maximum damage. Scold forces a Protect Shield and gets the attack drop. It looks like we're going to call the Bulldoze bait. What a call. Bulldoze doesn't do much of anything, or damage-wise, but did force a debuff on our defense. However, as we got the attack drop, we're still effectively at like normal defense, I guess. Poliwrath tanks the next Bulldoze. Gonna fire off the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch gets them low, and we're able to snipe with a Shadow Claw. The opponent sends out Furret. Oh man, this don't look great for us. The snipe was nice, but this alignment certainly is not. Our Shadow Claws are double resisted, as normal does double resist Ghost. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the likely Trailblaze. There's no reason not to Trailblaze. Swift would be double resisted in return. We're going to overfarm, fire off the Foul Play. Shadow Sableye hits so hard, despite our quick move doing absolutely nothing. All you need to do is land 2 Foul Plays, as it does enough to knock out. Throw the next Foul Play, down goes Furret. The opponent sends out Malamar, and here comes Mewtwo. Mewtwo gonna reach the Ice Beam. How much does an Ice Beam do in the Great League from Shadow Mewtwo? That much, almost picking up the knockout. We can just let Mewtwo go down, send back out a Sableye, 1 Shadow Claw, we'll pick up the knockout, and we're going to be able to take that game. Shadow Mewtwo in the Great League, you love to see it. Heading into the next battle. Let's see what shenanigans Team Pat Grunt has been up to in Season 22. Shadow Heatran into Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death. Awful for us. We save switch into Kingdra, baiting out Gator. Unless I'm mad, this is a Hydro Cannon, and that is double resisted. Clearly I can count at 2 times speed, despite me being shoutcasting for almost 1 hour. We YOLO the Outrage. Outrage forces the Protect Shield. I think we can actually flip this if we want. Is Pat going to look to flip? No, he's not. He's just going to let Kingdra go down and take his shield advantage, as we have got Shadow Palkia. Palkia hits the field of play. Dragon Tail farms down. The opponent sends out Bastiodon. How much does an Aqua Tail do? Aqua Tail does hit for super effective. Palkia hits hard. The question becomes, do 2 knock out? The first one did around half the health. We pivot back out into Heatran. Unfortunately, no Stone Edge. I wish we was on Stone Edge. We're going to fire off the Magma Storm. Magma Storm. Why are they shielding? Trainer, are you mad? I guess we let this go. Dragon Tail farm down an Aqua Tail. Okay, maybe I'm mad. That isn't the play. We're going to fire off 1 further Magma Storm. Heatran hits hard, but Magma Storm isn't going to knock out. That's certainly Dragon Tail range. I guess that works too. We want to keep some health on our Palkia. Palkia hits the field of play. The opponent saves Talonflame, send out Wallface, but Wallface going to be straight in and straight out. Aqua Tail picks up the knockout. We Dragon Tail farm down Talonflame and take that game. We are approaching the 1 hour mark. I wonder if anyone has the attention span to still be watching, and if you are, we've got plenty more shenanigans to go. Interestingly, we see Metang enter the battle, and this thing is currently ranked, or I should say will be ranked, inside the top 10 for Season 23's Great League, which is absolutely ridiculous. For those of you that don't know, both Metang and Metagross are both gaining access to Fury Cutter, but Metagross I think will certainly stick with Bullet Punch, as Bullet Punch is going to become a Sucker Punch clone, making it pretty meta-relevant once again in the Master League, like the good old days. I'm not entirely sure why the opponent from a discharge and not a mud bomb, but were able to make the catch back onto Shiftry where his energy is fully walled, and I've already seen we've got Hurricane. Please tell me that Jumpluff gets Hurricaned. We're going to fire off the Leaf Blade, looking to move the Pancake from the field of play, and we do exactly that. The opponent sends back out Jumpluff. We're going to invest a Protect Shield. There's only one reason to shield, and that is because we want to land that Hail Mary. Please, please. It's just a foul play. Hurricane! Bang! Jumpluff gets one-shot vanquished back to its Pokeball. Out comes Lapras. We could have stayed in. We could show a Muck, and why not show a Muck? Trainer, give it up. This one is going to end in defeat. The opponent has 2 shields. They're looking to play it out. Muck's like, you want that work? I'm going to give it to you, Lapras. We fire off the Dark Pulse, forcing the first Protect Shield. The opponent doesn't look for the Sidewave farm down. We're going to elect to let Muck go down. Down goes Muck. The opponent's got literally no fast move pressure. Back out comes Shiftry. Shiftry able to reach the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade will be forcing the opponent's final protection. We pivot out into Metang. Metang looks to reach the Gyro Ball. Psyshock probably would have got the job done, but why not put the stamp of authority? Metang receives the energy for the Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball hits for neutral. Going to be removing Lapras from the field of play, and we take that game. Get ready, Season 23 is no longer going to be a meme pick. Metang is apparently meta-relevant, although Sims don't always tell the full story. In the next battle, we see Shiny Shadow Kanto Marowak into Annihilate. We're going to shoot the Rage Fist, throw one Mud Slap and the Bone Club. Bone Club forces our shield back. We're only one Mud Slap off the next Bone Club. Bone Club forces the opponent all shields down, and the opponent is going to be forced to throw. We're going to let Marowak go down. Rage Fist removes us from the field of play. We send out Venusaur. The opponent pivots out. Is that a Crocodile? What the heck is on my screen? Of course, this team was set up as an ABB team, but I guess we were kind of obliged to stay in the opening matchup. As if we sent out Venusaur, we didn't really want Registeel, along with Annihilate in the end game. We land the Focus Blast. Crocodile able to fully farm down. Back out comes Venusaur. Venusaur going to be investing that Protect Shield, blocking up the Crunch, and looking for the Vine Whip farm down. We're able to achieve that before the Incinerate registers, and out comes Ferrothorn. Despite Frenzy Plant being one of the most busted moves in the game, Sludge Bomb is actually the better move. Steel does double resist Poison, however, Grass takes super effective, so that would only be single resisted, whereas in this case, both Steel and Grass resist Grass, meaning this Frenzy Plant is double resisted damage. The opponent sends back out Annihilate just to feed Venusaur free energy. We're continuing to throw Frenzy Plants, but I think at this point we do need 2 moves, so at this stage I would have also thrown double Frenzy Plant. We're able to do that, winning this battle. Venusaur removes Ferrothorn from the field of play, and we take that game. Have you ever seen a Pokemon Go PvP video outside of streams or regionals longer than this? My voice is definitely struggling. In the next battle we see Magmar into Clodsire. Scorching Sand is beautiful in this matchup. It does so much damage. Able to 2-shot. We go for it right off the bat, forcing ourselves an early shield advantage. Are we going to match Protect Shield? No, we're not. The opponent goes for an Acid Spray. As if my voice wasn't struggling enough. You don't need to surprise factor me there, Mr. Opponent. We fire off the next Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands force the opponent all shields down. And we send out, what's this called? Servine, I believe. I was watching Henry's Battle of Spice. Galaxgabotan was running this Pokemon because it's also got the very annoying move of Leaf Tornado. The rules of that format, I believe they banned the top 100 Pokemon on PvPoke, meaning Superior was banned where Servine could still enter and be a very annoying pesty self. We're attempting to Vine Whip farm down this Mudshot variant of Clodsire, unable to do so. Oh wait, we survive the Acid Spray. No, we lose so much energy. It's essentially a 2-shieldless Elgor versus the world. I guess maybe 3 shields, as Magmar can be used as the 3rd shield. We're going to farm up, look to make use of that 3rd shield. There's no shot a Elgor sweeps the team right. This Pokemon is so bloody bad. Alright, I'll give you a chance, buddy. In a Selgot, I believe. We're going to farm up, throw the Focus Blast on the charge attack priority. Focus Blast! Off. A lot of damage, but unfortunately not enough to pick up the one-hit KO. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming foul play. That is certainly something we can one-shot. The Water Shriekins should put them into Focus Blast range. Let's be honest. I think Focus Blast probably knocks them out from full health. Probably knocks out this Morpeko and every Morpeko that ever entered the Go Battle League. Focus Blast removes the Wish Pikachu from the field of play. Back out comes Mandibuzz. We're able to reach the Acid Spray on the charge attack priority. We hit no bubbles, and a Selgor pulls off the incredible sweep that I never thought I'd see. GG's, thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. Let's see what Gilbot's been up to in Season 22. We'll lead Raikou into Kyogre. What format is this? This is some mad spice from both us and the opponent. Actually, I take that back. This is Master League. We are running the Legendary Beast fully maxed out in the Master League. Kyogre, not that spicy. It's just a nonsense pick, or as Home Size Henry calls it, the RPS whale. We fire off the Shadow Ball, not wanting to debuff ourselves. Bank our energy, and Suicune hits the field of play. Suicune going to fire off the Scald. Scald is resisted and not going to do much of anything, especially when the opponent catches onto Dialga. Undeterred, we're going to continue to throw Scalds that are resisted, as opposed to neutral Ice Beam, potentially fishing for any attack drops that could occur. I used to run Suicune a lot back in the Ultra League, when Scald had a 50-50 coin flip chance of getting an attack drop, and it was so annoying and so difficult for people to take us out. We're finally going to YOLO the Ice Beam. Ice Beam hits for neutral. Decent neutral damage at that, getting Dialga into the red health range. The opponent is going to need to Aurora time. No trainer, Ironhead simply not going to cut it. The opponent then doesn't even commit to the farm down either. Okay, this sets up a nice little energy lead for Entei. Entei hits the field of play. Going to get a very, very nice farm down indeed. Very close to the Scorching Sands. Back out comes to Kyogre. I guess if the opponent shields, we combo them, right? Scorching Sands, that forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Raikou hits the field of play and the opponent continues to stay in. They've got to be double weak to electric, right? Wild Charge removes the bulky blue whale or the RPS whale from the field of play. Out comes Ho-Oh. Does one Wild Charge knockout. Close, but no cigar. But don't worry, Entei still has a shield and some health. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Brave Bird. Fire Spin farm down and take that game. The inevitable is starting to occur with me losing the ability to speak, but the show must go on. Waterly, Conkeldor into Glalie. The opponent says no thank you. Say switch into Azumarill, but surprise trainer. We're not running counter, we're running Poison Jab. Whilst the Poison Jabs are hitting for super effective, this Conkeldor isn't running Stone Edge, so our charge moves are fully walled due to the sub-fairy typing, as fairy resists both fighting and dark. We're going to fire off Dynamic Punch. To be honest, it still does a lot and does enable a Poison Jab farm down afterwards. The opponent sends out Lapras. We've already shown the Dynamic Punch. Go for the Brutal Swing bait. Brutal Swing. Force our Protect Shield back, and we send out Ursaring. Ursaring looks to fire off the Swift, but unfortunately we get outpaced. We're going to invest Protect Shield, blocking up the Sparkling Aria. Out comes Glalie. Again, we're going for a bait. Oof, this is risky in my opinion, but Swift forced the Protect Shield. We're able to win the charge attack priority, have no doubt. Close combat from Ursaring, easily picks up the one-hit KO. Back out comes Lapras. Can we reach one more before we get Psywave farm down? Oof! I thought that was certainly going to be the case, but Ursaring says no, reaches the close combat and sweeps the back line. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. We have another Shadow Weavile sighting, this time in the Open Great League. This isn't a great matchup for us whatsoever. The opponent goes straight for an Ice Beam though. We might be Glassy, but Ice does resist itself, meaning we can actually tank that. We then see the Simor swap with Metang into Quagman. This is not a great spot to be in, and we're looking pretty RPS'd at this point. We see the shield deployed, respecting a potential Mud Bomb, and right on cue, there is that Mud Bomb. Metang able to outpace to the next side shot. Let's see if the opponent wants to keep alignment. The opponent invests that Protect Shield, go for the next Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb picks up the knockout. We send out Latias or Latios, whatever this bloody blue thing's called, getting the Dragon Breath farm down, and it looks like we're going for that Luster Purge. Does Azumarill respect the damage? They do not. Oh, that does so much. We're going to try and double resisted Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent not wanting to risk a farm down. Opt to pivot out. Latias or Latios fires off the Dragon Claw. We go for the wham bam combo play. Fire off the Focus Blast that is resisted but does pick up the knockout. Back out comes Azumarill. Weavile able to reach the foul play, and foul play is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Nidoking's pretty interesting next season, also receiving Poison Sting, and I do believe it learns Fury Cutter as a legacy move. In the next battle, we see a fantastic lead and even better counter swap as we send up Magnezone to answer this Jellicent. If you even look at Magnezone the wrong way, it faints, so I do agree with shielding this move up. Although I'm not sure on the bait. The opponent able to outpace to the next surf, and we now find ourselves all shields down. I guess at this point, even a Mirror Shot probably threatens the knockout as we've done so much Volt Switch damage. Mirror Shot isn't lethal, but we're able to farm down afterwards. And our Typhlosion wants to enter the arena. It's going to be forced to shield. And I guess you don't really want to shield when we've got Rhyperior. Out comes Typhlosion. We're going to YOLO the Wild Charge. Is the opponent going to shield Typhlosion? Yes, they are. But we're doubled up, and the opponent's going to be forced to either double shield or just lose Typhlosion. The opponent opts to double shield. Unless you're running Solar Beam Trainer, this is not a good matchup for you. Although this is the Great League, so perhaps we don't tank this too well. Oh my god, Blast Burn. Almost one-shot Rhyperior. Rock's an awful typing, but you do resist fire. Where was your resistance? Out comes Jumpluff. The opponent YOLO the Acrobatics, getting Pidgeot deep into the red. Pidgeot going to YOLO the Brave Bird. Brave Bird removes them from the field of play. We're going to get off one Gust, and the Mud Slap will register before the Incinerate. And we've actually got a charge move as well, so why not throw the Breaking Swipe, and we take that game. I'll be honest, super surprised Typhlosion tanked that Mud Slap. Heading into the next battle. Another Magnezone sighting, but this is definitely not a matchup we're going to be comfortable into. The opponent farms the close combat. We are going to respect it. The opponent bait with the Rage Fist. Who isn't going to bait Shadow Zone? Zone also going for a cheeky masturbating session. Returning fire with the Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot forces our shield back. We're actually able to outpace to the next Mirror Shot. Primeape continuing to karate chop away. And we managed to force both Protect Shields from an awful matchup, which is kind of best case scenario. Out comes Zeb Striker. Zeb Striker correctly shields up the close combat. We're able to Spark Farm down. The opponent sends out Licky, far too thicky. The opponent goes straight for a Body Slam. Body Slam, a garbage move, but Zeb Striker is so bloody glassy. Zeb Striker gonna farm up as much energy it physically can before unleashing the Wild Charge. Wild Charge. Almost picks up the one-hit KO. We pivot into Electivire. Out comes Talonflame. Talonflame going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Talonflame off my screen. Back out comes Licky just to get Thundershock farm down. And we take that game. In the next battle, we've got the highly talented KitKat Deluxe leading Shadow Swampert into Marowak. Despite this being a type advantage matchup, the opponent can cheese their way through this matchup if they so choose. And I guess if you're going to use Marowak, that's probably your strategy. I don't know if you can detect it in my voice. I'm not a huge Marowak fan whatsoever. KitKat going to invest Protect Shield, blocking up the Bone Club, one Mud Shot and the next Hydro Cannon. KitKat says, if you want to keep this Marowak around, give me both shields. The opponent obliges, putting off both Protect Shields, and out comes Sandslash. Sandslash going to be forced to shield up the Bone Club. We've got to be mindful of the opponent trying to make a catch. No catch attempt is made. Ice Punch will be moving Marowak from the field of play. Down goes Marowak. The opponent sends out Clodsire. Trainer, how weak are you to a Sandslash in the back? KitKat gonna fire off the Drill Run. Drill Run does do more, but Ice Punch is slightly more energy efficient. Now it's been buffed, but KitKat recognises we're only reaching one move, so did throw the Drill Run. The opponent throw the Earthquake, removing us from the field of play. Out comes Sandshrew. Oh baby, that is exactly what we want to see in the back. This little thing has access to Blizzard, and have no doubt, even after a debuff, Blizzard is going to easily pick up the one shot. It's going to be hi Cradilly, bye Cradilly. Nice to see you, nice. Remove yourself from my screen. Back out comes Clodsire. KitKat farming up, looks to make the catch back onto Swampert in an attempt to reach the Blizzard, but Swampert able to Mud Shot farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. We lead Grimer into Drapion. Are we on Mud Slap? Yes, we are. The Mud Slap's hitting for super effective, and a lot of super effective damage at that. Despite us not being a ground type and getting same type attack bonus, Mud Slap is just a busted move. The opponent sends out Thickersby. We bank a boatload of energy and send out the big fat rat. Raticate just has such a beautiful stat product. It is so well positioned in the Great League, despite its double weakness to fighting. You can see it can tank 2 Scorching Sands at no problem whatsoever, and KitKat is running Hyper Beam, and you better believe we are full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? I really anticipated that going no shielded, but the opponent has other ideas, shielding up the Hyper Beam, but Raticate still not done. Gonna fire off the Crunch. Crunch puts them into the red health range. We go for the show and go, sending out Linoon. The opponent fire off the Scorching Sands Linoon, withstands the damage, going to go straight for the Body Slam. Body Slam is a pretty bad move, or actually it's garbage, but we are a Shadow, and Body Slam able to remove them from the field of play. The opponent sends out a Zoom Roll. Are we running Gunk Shot? Oh yes we are. Does Gunk Shot get the one shot? That is the question of the day. Gunk Shot! Oh, big damage, but unfortunately not enough to get the job done. Back out. Comes Drapion. Drapion going to be greeted with the Body Slam. Body Slam forces the final Protect Shield. We farm up 2 double charge moves. You know the drill. 1 to remove Drapion from the field of play. 1 to remove Azumarill, and KitKat is going to be emerging victorious. Gunk Shot was nice. I really wanted a one shot, but it wasn't meant to be. GG's, and thanks for playing. A very cool twist on the classic tried and tested Poison Double Dark strategy that has been around since what feels like forever. Heading into the next battle. It looks like we're back jumping into some Ultra League shenanigans. Awful lead, the Angry Alligator into Ampharos. We throw 1 Shadow Claw, transfer the Volt Switch onto Zapdos. The reason you're able to do that is the damage doesn't register till turn 3, and Shadow Claw is a 2-turn move. The opponent makes a catch the neutral Thunderbolt as opposed to the resisted one onto Mark. That certainly works for us. We go for the Drill Peck, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Looks like we would reach one more, so the opponent is forced to dump energy. Thunder Punch will be moving us from the field of play. Poor old Gator looks like it's certainly being hunted here. Thunder Punch is super effective, and we're actually going to see the first Protect Shield deployed. We should now be able to Shadow Claw farm down before the next one's reached, and we do exactly that. Back out comes Ampharos. Ampharos looks to fire off energy. We take the extra Shadow Claw, recognising we're going to lose CMP. We then throw 1 Shadow Claw and the Hydro Cannon for optimal fast move timing. Hydro Cannon goes shielded. 1 further Shadow Claw and the next Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon won't be lethal, but will get the opponent low. Likewise, this is just a brutal swing. We should survive, and I think I'd be spamming the switch here. Looking to get a 1 Incinerate head start. The opponent actually threw the Thunder Punch. We get a 1 Incinerate running start, and out comes Togekiss. Oh, trainer, you are in for a very, very bad day at the office. We throw the Brave Bird. Brave Bird very quickly deletes the very annoying Fluffy Cloud, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we've got another one of our resident Spice Lords, GG Dog, leading Shadow Typhlosion into Kyurem, the OG Kyurem, before it got like whatever it was, its 2 forms, black and white, the fusion being completely busted, but the OG still has some play. We say switch into Skunk Tank, shield up the Glaciate, and we are going to return fire with a Crunch. Crunch should force our Protect Shield back. The opponent actually just completely sacked Kyurem, happy with his contribution, and send out the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. Skunk Tank going to fire off 1 further Crunch. Crunch this time does force the Protect Shield. Oh, the opponent actually froze as well. Best case scenario. You can see we've got Superior in the back, which is certainly not wanting the work from Talonflame. We send back out Typhlosion, 1 Incinerate and the Thunder Punch on the charge attack priority, forcing the opponent all shields down. GG Dog going to invest his final Protect Shield. We just need to ensure the opponent doesn't make a catch. Oh, I talked that into existence, didn't I? Thunder Punch is caught onto Umbreon. I think we just rebank and then look to send out Superior. We do exactly that, and that should win us the game. Although, as I say that, the opponent made a catch, and we stayed in rebank to switch timers are misaligned, so potentially Umbreon could carry this opponent home. If I was GG Dog, I'd get this Frenzy Plant off instantly, ensuring it lands on its intended target. The opponent remains on the screen. Frenzy Plant won't be lethal. The opponent needs to pivot out. There's the pivot. We are still switch locked. We're forced to throw the Aerial Ace. Does this burn off our timer? If it does, we need to combo. It does stall our timer. Back out comes Typhlosion. Typhlosion fires off the Thunder Punch. Does Umbreon have enough in the tank to remove not only Typhlosion, but Superior as well? Umbreon going to fire off the move before the Incinerate registers, which is smart. It's going to be a race. Superior able to win the race, reaching the Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace is going to be all she wrote. GG's. Heading into the next battle, GG Dog diving into the Open Master League with my favourite blue dragon. I can never remember what it's called. We're going to call it Latios. Latios into Landorus. We're going to stay in. Are we going to attempt a Sancia catch? Yes, we are. This is single resisted, which won't do much, but will very annoyingly debuff us whatever the opponent counter swaps in. The opponent sends out Kyurem. This would normally be a pretty decent matchup, but debuffed. Not the best. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Fusion Bolt, so good timing would be 1 Incinerate and the charge move, and GG Dog doesn't disappoint, doing the optimal timing that I love to see. Sacred Fire still commands a Protect Shield. Can we reach the Brave Bird? Unfortunately, we cannot. Very nice fast move timing from our opponent as well. Fusion Bolt picks up the knockout. We send back out Latios. Latios will be able to Dragon Breath farm down, but not before yet another Fusion Bolt's reached. Fusion Bolt is resisted, but you can see Latios is so heavily severely chipped already, but it does have a lot of energy. The opponent thinking about what to send out. They send out Rhyperior, which certainly works for us. We're going to throw the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw, decent damage to be honest. This little dragon hits incredibly hard. We're already at the next Dragon Claw. The next Dragon Claw also gets not respected. We then Simul Swap, but we're the beneficiary. Mamoswine able to fully Powder Snow farm down. The opponent doesn't want the smoke and they concede the match. Heading into what I believe is our second from last, or penultimate battle if you will. I believe it's the second from last anyway, hopefully, because my voice is definitely struggling. I'm just kidding, I've loved every second of this. A huge thank you to everyone that took part. We see Kanto Mark into Malamar, awful lead for us. We save switch into the mirror, and we are running that Hail Mary Hyper Beam. Does the opponent respect the damage? Hyper Beam, oof, almost a one-shot on Jumpluff, and Jumpluff is so bloody thick. We're going to Vesta Protect Shield, blocking up the acrobatics, and just like that, switch advantage is ours. Out comes Kanto Marowak. I don't really think there's any need to be. Marowak users love to shield everything and just try and cheese their way through matchups. Straight fast move pressure. The opponent does that. It looks like we're just going to completely sacrifice Mark. I like this a lot, as if our Malamar gets aligned against the opposing Malamar, we don't need HP, as the sideways will be triple resisted. We are going to be switch locked, but it is ShadowKatt turn time. Cacturn hits the field of play. Is this enough for a rock side? I'll be honest, I was not counting. We get baited with the Bone Club. Cacturn able to fully Sucker Punch farm down. Back out comes Malamar. We're going to go for the Trailblaze. Both moves are neutral, but Trailblaze does have that 100% chance of Vampire attack. Trailblaze forces the opponent's final protection. We combo back into Malamar. Throw the Foul Play. Foul Play on CMP as well. It's going to be a race. Can we reach the Trailblaze before the opponent reaches the superpower? Yes, we can. We're actually going to throw the Dynamic Punch. And why bloody not? GG's and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we've got none other than the GOAT, No Bonfire Head. If you've seen the line of Typhlosion, Drapion and Chestnut, you can thank this guy as he is the creator. We see Geodude into Jumpluff. The opponent save switches into the Angry Ape and here comes Zard. I'm not entirely sure why this battle doesn't fit the screen, to be honest. All the others did. This was the one anomaly, and I can only apologise. The Dragon Breath tearing through Annihilate. No Bonfire Head fires off the Dragon Claw, forcing a Protect Shield. It looks like No Bonfire Head wants to keep that positive alignment. Going to go for the shield. Can we now Dragon Breath farm down Annihilate? But it's going to be close. Charizard able to get it, leaving on fractional HP. The opponent reluctant to turn Jumpluff back into the arena. Send out Thick as Bee. Charizard fires off the Blast Burn. Monstrous damage. We send out the Grass Snake. The Grass Snake can tank Fire Punches for days. The opponent tries to catch a Frenzy Plant onto Jumpluff. No Bonfire Head not falling for any of that nonsense. Sends out Geodude. Fires off the Rock Tomb. A Rock Tomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Are they on Energy Ball? Hopefully not. Oh god, Acrobatics. Have you ever seen do so little damage? That is double resisted, as both Rock and Electric do resist Fly-In. Geodude fires off one further Rock Tomb, almost nuking the opponent from the sky, leaving him deep into the red. Aerial Ace also doesn't do much of nothing. The opponent tries to pivot back out into Thick as Bee. No Bonfire Head sends out Superior. The opponent doesn't want that work and they concede the match. Whew. And that is just about going to wrap things up. For the longest video I've ever put together, and to be honest, probably ever intend to upload. A huge thank you to everyone for taking part. Good luck for everyone on their Season 20